Hey English learners, welcome back to another episode, your cozy little place to learn easy English through real everyday conversations. I'm Anna and I'm Jake, running on only 4 hours of sleep. So honestly, this episode is basically me asking for help. That's actually perfect because today we're talking about something almost everyone struggles with, calming your mind at night. This is personal for me because I get into bed, close my eyes, and my brain says great. Finally, some quiet time. Let's remember every embarrassing thing you've said since 2009. And those memories come back every night free of charge. Nobody asked for this service. Mine is different. Mine is less embarrassing memories and more a sudden emergency to-do list, like at 11 p.m. My brain says, did you renew your passport? What about that email from 3 weeks ago? And it waits until I'm lying down to bring up boring life tasks because it knows I can't do anything about it right now. So that's exactly when it wants to talk about it, which is kind of evil. So today we're looking at why this happens and, more importantly, what actually helps. Real stuff, not just drink chamomile tea and good luck, although we will mention chamomile tea at some point, since, let's be honest, it deserves it. Now let's talk about calming the mind at night, starting with the obvious question, why does this even happen? Why does the mind become so loud at night? Because during the day, we're too busy to listen to it. There are messages, conversations, traffic, work, family, and 100 small distractions. So the brain doesn't really get a quiet moment. The brain is trying to speak, but the day is too noisy. Then at night, everything becomes quiet. You lie down, the lights are off, no one is talking, and suddenly your thoughts have space. The brain finally gets the room to itself, and then it chooses the worst possible topic. It's like your worries finally get the microphone. This is where anxiety can show up too, that heavy, worried feeling that can become so loud at night. Anxiety is that nervous, worried feeling, sometimes small, like did I forget something, and sometimes much heavier. So at night, the brain says the room is quiet, great, let's bring all the worries. But in a strange way, this is also a little reassuring, because it feels good to know you're not the only one. And reassuring means it makes you feel less worried when you know many people feel this way, so you don't feel so alone. A lot of people deal with some version of this. Nighttime is often the first quiet moment the brain gets all day. So it's not why is my brain like this? It's more like why do many brains do this when everything becomes quiet? And that small change can help you stop blaming yourself. Many people replay old moments at night. And the worst part is there's nothing to fix. It already happened. That's why sometimes we need to gently tell the mind, not tonight. We're not doing this now. But before we talk more about thoughts, we have to talk about something that makes it worse for many people, phones in bed. Because scrolling right before bed is basically the opposite of calming your mind. You're giving your brain more information right when it's supposed to slow down. Now, watching something light and silly like a funny video can sometimes feel relaxing, but even light content can keep your brain awake. The screen, the movement, the next video, the next post, it all tells your brain stay awake. There's more coming. Still, the issue isn't always the phone itself. It's what you're doing on the phone. Doom scrolling before bed is very different from watching one silly 10-second video. Doom scrolling means you keep scrolling through negative or stressful content, like bad news, scary posts, or arguments online. So it's like feeding your brain problems right before sleep. And then we wonder why our mind won't calm down. So we're not saying no phone ever, we're saying no chaos before sleep. Because sometimes we think we're resting with our phone, but we're still giving our brain work. The body is in bed, but the mind is still outside in the world with messages, videos, comments, news, people's lives, people's opinions. So the real question isn't only should I use my phone, it's what kind of feeling am I giving my mind before sleep? A calm feeling or a chaos feeling? Now let's get into the actual racing thoughts problem, because this is what many people deal with. One thought comes, then another, then another. Racing thoughts are fast thoughts that keep coming one after another. You want to sleep, but your mind keeps jumping from one thing to another, like tomorrow's meeting. Did I lock the door? Why did I say that thing years ago? What if I forget something tomorrow? One thing that has genuinely helped is something simple. Writing thoughts down before bed. It's called a brain dump, which means writing down everything in your mind, worries, tasks, reminders, random thoughts, so your brain doesn't have to hold it all. Sometimes your brain keeps repeating things because it's worried you'll forget them, so when you write them down, your brain can relax a little, because the information isn't only living in your head anymore, it's somewhere safe. It's like telling your brain, I've got it. You can clock out. You can stop guarding it. And it doesn't have to be a gratitude list. It can be a worry list, an angry list, or a things I need to remember tomorrow list. It doesn't need to be beautiful. It doesn't need perfect grammar or deep thoughts, because the goal isn't to write beautifully. The goal is to empty your mind a little. Now, something important to say here. Sometimes a racing mind at night isn't just, oh, I had a busy day. Sometimes it's connected to real anxiety or stress that's been building for a long time or something heavier, and breathing exercises and brain dumps can be useful tools, but they don't fix everything. We're not a replacement for a therapist. If someone is lying awake every night feeling scared, stressed, or unable to function well during the day, it's okay to speak to a professional. There's no shame in that. What we're sharing is gentle, everyday support. Not a cure for everything, because some advice online makes it sound like just take 5 deep breaths and your anxiety will disappear forever. And real life isn't always that simple. Some nights the tools work well, some nights they help a little, and some nights you need more support. And that's completely okay. Advice doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to fix your whole life in one night. Calming your mind isn't about perfection. It's about trying small things and noticing what helps. Now, let's talk about something more practical. The room itself, temperature matters. If the room is even a little too warm, some people's brains won't calm down, while others need the room a little warm, or they just lie there thinking about cold feet. And this becomes a real disagreement for a lot of people. But there's one thing most people agree on: darkness. Even a small light from a charger, a hallway, or a phone screen can make it harder to wind down, meaning to slowly relax after a busy day. And light can keep your brain alert, meaning awake and ready to notice things. But at night, we don't want the brain to feel too alert. We want it to understand the day is ending. A bright, noisy room says stay awake. A dark, quiet room says you can rest. But let's be fair, different people need different sleep environments. Some like a cool room, some need a warmer room, some need silence, some like soft background sound. So the goal isn't to copy someone else's perfect night routine. The goal is to notice what helps your body and mind feel safe enough to rest. So the idea is simple. Don't fight your mind at night. Give it somewhere softer to rest. Now let's slow down the strongest words from today's conversation. Our first phrase is racing thoughts, fast thoughts that keep coming one after another. You want to rest, but your mind keeps jumping. You could say, I couldn't sleep because I had racing thoughts, or my racing thoughts get louder when the room is quiet. A useful pattern is racing thoughts about something, like I had racing thoughts about tomorrow's meeting. Our next phrase is brain dump. When you write down everything in your mind, worries, tasks, reminders, random thoughts, you could say, I did a brain dump before bed, or a quick brain dump helped me stop replaying my to-do list. A useful pattern is do a brain dump. I'm going to do a brain dump before I sleep. And the goal isn't beautiful writing, it's giving your thoughts somewhere else to go. Our next word is anxiety, a strong, worried or nervous feeling that can feel especially loud at night because everything else is quiet. You could say, my anxiety gets worse when I'm trying to sleep, or I feel anxiety when I think about tomorrow. A useful pattern is anxiety about something, like I have anxiety about work, and naming the feeling can make it a little less scary. Our next word is reassuring, meaning making someone feel less worried. Like when you realize you're not the only one who feels this way, you could say it was reassuring to know that other people have racing thoughts too, or her calm voice was reassuring. A useful pattern is it is reassuring to know that. It is reassuring to know my brain is not broken. Our next word is doom scrolling, scrolling through negative or stressful content for a long time. Bad news, scary posts, angry comments, and somehow you keep scrolling. You could say, I stayed up late doom scrolling, or doom scrolling before bed made my mind feel more anxious. A useful pattern is stop doom scrolling. I need to stop doom scrolling before sleep. Our final word is wired, meaning very awake, active, or full of nervous energy. You can be tired and wired at the same time. You could say I was exhausted, but I still felt wired. Or I drank coffee too late and I felt wired all night. A useful pattern is feel wired. I feel wired even though I'm tired. And this word is perfect for modern sleep problems. When your body says, please sleep, but your brain says, let's start a meeting. So now let's take some common learner sentences about sleep, stress, and overthinking and make them sound more natural. Let's start with this sentence. My brain is not stopping, which is understandable but not very natural. A better way to say it is my mind won't calm down tonight. Softer, more natural, and very real. Next sentence. I am thinking too much, very clear, but a little basic. A better version is I'm overthinking everything right now, or my thoughts keep racing. That sounds like something someone would actually say at night. Here's another one. I cannot sleep because many thoughts come. The meaning is clear, but the sentence needs smoothing. Try this. I can't sleep because my thoughts keep racing. Short, natural, and emotional. Next, I watch phone too much. A very common learner sentence. A better version is I spent too much time scrolling on my phone, and if the content was negative or stressful, you can say I stayed up doom scrolling, since scrolling is general, but doom scrolling is the stressful version, and before bed, that version is dangerous for peace. Next sentence, I'm tired but not sleepy. A more natural version is I'm exhausted, but I still feel wired. That's exactly the feeling. Your body wants rest, but your mind is still active. Final sentence, I need to stop thinking, which sounds a little hard on yourself, like your thoughts are the enemy. A kinder version is, I need to give my mind a place to rest. That feels softer. Sometimes we don't need to fight our thoughts, we need to guide them gently. And that's a much kinder way to speak to yourself at night. So tonight, try one small thing, maybe a brain dump, maybe less doom scrolling, maybe a darker room. And if your mind brings back old memories, tell it not tonight, we can talk tomorrow. Sleep well, English learners. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.